I've been building this container house off-grid and alone for almost 18 months on a tiny budget of 100k Australian. And one of the only ways this is possible is because I'm using a lot of natural materials from my homestead for the build, such as the 150 to 350k worth of jarrah and Maori timber that I milled from the trees that had to be felled due to fire regulations. I milled the jarrah with a chainsaw mill and timber mill to use for decking on the rooftop and wraparound deck that I built. And it's been drying in my shed ever since. But now it's at a perfect 12% moisture level for exterior decking, and it's ready to be turned into decking boards. I need to first cut the slabs into decking boards widthways and lengthways, and then I need to pass it through the thicknesser many times to get it to the correct thickness. I'm going to be finishing the decking boards with xanthorrhea resin varnish that I'm making from the xanthorrheas on my property. But there is one major problem. I'm not sure if I have enough for both of the decks. And with the price of jarrah timber, that would mean the decks wouldn't be completed. So it's time to cut through all these jarrah slabs and work out how many decking boards I can get. So what I'm doing here is I'm cutting the slabs widthways and then transferring them over here and cutting them lengthways. But then you're left with a beautiful, smooth decking board. And to be holding this in my hands and know that I turned it from a raw log into this smooth, beautiful decking board is a pretty proud moment. I want to try and get through as many as possible today so I can kind of gauge how many I'm going to end up with. Let's create some sawdust. have a nice pile going of decking boards that I have cut with my table saw here, and now I'm going to take them over to this table saw and I'm going to cut them lengthways. And then it's planing time, and there's going to be a lot to plane. But I think I'm also accidentally turning the shed pink. Look at the side of it. It's very pretty. I have 42 decking boards cut to size, widthways and lengthways. So you know what it's time for. Planing time. I love planing time because this is the satisfying part of the job where they look so beautiful and so smooth. It does take a while though. It's not the fastest part of the job, but it is the most satisfying.
Sunlight dances on the balcony as I wait for thee to come home. I fall for the words, yeah, my sadness when you're in that dress. Glad you're home.
I still have loads of boards from yesterday to plane, but I'm thinking today I'm gonna try make it just a cutting day, and I'm gonna try get through all the jarrah that I have, which is a huge ask and probably impossible. I'm not sure because I think there's more than I've actually cut already. But I'm hoping if I can just like lock in and just cut. I just want to get through it all so bad so I can see how much I've got. I cannot put it on the decks though yet. Like the plan is to have the wraparound deck and rooftop deck as jarrah if possible. But I wouldn't be able to put it on until the plumber has come and been and does whatever he needs to do with connecting the gutters. But also I feel like there's obviously, I think, pipes or something, maybe holes that need to be cut or things that need to be done under the house as well. And I don't want to make it too difficult for him to get in. But when all those things are happened, which is going to happen in the next visit from him. I will be able to put the decking boards on, but also before that, I will be able to close it all in. So I'm going to be using the container panels to close in and kind of skirt the edge of the wraparound deck, but also leave an access door so that I can have stuff underneath there and store things underneath there and still get underneath the house. But that way it'll be all nicely closed in, and then I'll like be able to edge the wraparound deck with maybe garden beds, like that type of thing. But this weather is absolutely throwing me off so much. This is my massive big winter jacket that I have for like 0 degrees temperatures, and I'm still wearing it now, and we are well into summer. Christmas is just around the corner and I am still wearing this, which is just insane. I'm already, it's sorted. When I finish with this house, I am definitely going to be saving for like a little piece of holiday land somewhere tropical. Big jacket on, head down, bum up, and creating lots of sawdust today. And hopefully by the end of the day, I will have a bit of my shed cleared, which will be so nice, but also to see how many decking boards I actually have. This is not all of it, but I just started thinking, wow, this timber's heavy and I don't want to break my shed or anything, which probably isn't possible, but I don't want to risk it. So let's get rid of it all and turn it into decking boards, and then I'll bring out the next load. This is going to be a long day, and I've just got everything crossed that it doesn't rain. So yeah, that would make it a little bit trickier. These table saws and this thicknesser need a lot of power. So of course I need the perfect power station to power them while I make my decking boards. And for me, that's the brand new BLUETTI Elite 300, and let me tell you why. BLUETTI Elite 300 is the most compact 3 kWh home backup power station. So it gives you more power with less bulk. This is barely bigger than the 2 kWh models and the most compact and lightweight 3 kWh model out there, which means more power with less weight to move around. With a 3014.4 WH capacity, 2400 watt power, and a lifting power of 4800 watt for high power devices like these guys. So I'm able to work non-stop on these decking boards with no power interruptions. Not only that, but there's 11 outputs for all your needs. And for me, that means I can power all of the tools I'm using, batteries, and all of my filming equipment. The BLUETTI Elite 300 gives you instant backup in 10 milliseconds seconds if your power goes out. So you can keep all your electronics, security systems, and other essentials powered in a blackout. And everything can be easily managed all from the BLUETTI app with smart control. So you can decide when the BLUETTI Elite 300 is active or in energy-saving sleep mode. And if you're in a house, you can even schedule your lights, AC, heaters, or pumps to turn on and off automatically so that your home is ready for use when you are. And you have total control and zero hassle. If you're looking for a mid-power option with a 3 kWh capacity at a good price, this is the perfect choice. If you want to grab the newly launched BLUETTI Elite 300 or any other BLUETTI power station, there's a link below in my description. Well, it hasn't rained on me yet, so that is a plus. But I am still not through this pile of wood over here that I've put up against the side of the shed. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bits left, but then there's still more in the shed. And I really wanted to get through it all today, but it's like getting close to the end of the day. So I know, and it's like I set a big task. But check out the pile that I do have going. Like, that is a lot of decking boards. 7 more to go, ladies and gentlemen, and then I can get the next round out. Let's do this. Oh, what a day. I am covered from head to toe in sawdust, but I am finally through that pile. So now I'm gonna go grab a whole other pile. I think there's more than I got out this morning left as well. It's not a bad thing if there's more, remember, like it's tiring, but we want more. We want more decking boards. We want as many as possible. So I'm gonna try bring out the remainder now and see just how many that is. Flies. Got the flies for summer, but not the weather yet. Number 1. One more pile. What a day. This is it all. This is all of the Jarrah now. It's not all out here, but this is all the rest that I have to cut right here. There is like 3 bottom pieces of the logs that I milled that are a bit thick, so I haven't brought them out. I might mill them in half again so that I get more wood out of it and I don't just plane away heaps of the timber. Gosh, I'm puffed out from that. Whew. Look at my pile of offcuts. That's the pile of decking boards I cut. And let me show you the space where the Jarrah was, but is no longer. So here we are. I had Jarrah stacked on top of these ones here. That's why they're really short, because there was all Jarrah stacked there. And then, so these were all in between the milled timber. So they weren't there, and there was piles of Jarrah all stacked here. There was Jarrah all stacked on top of these here, really high up. And then Jarrah all within this section here, stacked all the way up. And these are the 3 bottom bits I was talking about that are still quite thick. You probably can't see, but they're a bit too thick to cut like this. I reckon I can get a couple more boards out of them. And then these are Jarrah here, but I actually cut these to be bench tops. That's why they're so thick. So I'll probably leave them as bench tops. I got real lucky with the weather and it didn't rain, which was actually nice, and it didn't get too hot or anything. So it actually was a pretty good day for cutting all these into decking boards. But wow, I'm so exhausted. Even though you're not like moving around a lot, there's still a lot of picking up timber and moving it around. And this timber is very heavy. Jarrah is so dense and so heavy. That's why I'm so worried about it leaning against the shed here. If it wasn't Jarrah, I wouldn't be too worried. Oh my gosh, okay. I need to pack away, and the goal is tomorrow. I think I'm probably crazy, and again setting an impossible goal for myself, but I want to get through all that. I want to mill it all so that I know how many Jarrow decking boards I have. Sorry, GoPro died. Django, Django, stop. I love you, Django. Oh my gosh. Okay. She's an absolute chaos monster, just like me. You know how like dogs are like their owners? She's definitely very much like me, Django. And she talks so much as well, just like me. She like literally talks to me all the time. So like I was saying, impossible task for myself tomorrow. But hey, we like impossible tasks. I'm gonna reach for the stars every day if I can. The trick is being okay if you don't reach them and just being okay with how close you do get. What? She's so sassy, eh? So sassy. I'm going to pack away and get some of the energy out of her, I reckon.
Time flies by and I see beyond the disguise. Look into the sun's eyes. Love happens. And all the world is bright again and now.
The plan was to get up early this morning and cut all of those decking boards that I have left to cut. But alas, it rained all morning. It is just stopping, fingers crossed, I hope. I can still feel like little sprinkles, but I'm really hoping it's stopping. And I'm just gonna, I've got to get them all cut today. That is the plan. That is what's gonna happen. I think it's definitely more than yesterday, and it's definitely a later start, but I'm just gonna concentrate really, really super duper hard and get them all cut and see how many I have by the end of the day. But I also really would like to finish one with the varnish just to see how it looks as well. "22 slabs to go." I'm on the home stretch, kinda. "11 left to go." I can see the light. And that is a bloody wrap. Can you believe it? That is all my Jarrah decking cut, not cut to size, cut horizontally, but not lengthways. And there is some more in the shed that I've actually planed already from the first week. But unfortunately, I believe I have come to the conclusion that I have nowhere near enough for both of my decks. So that's a real problem considering the price of decking. I definitely cannot afford decking boards for this wraparound deck. At the moment, it looks like I can't afford them secondhand either. So I'm definitely going to have to think this one through. And it's a lot, because if you think about how many logs I actually milled and then how many I ended up with, I would have to mill a lot more than I already did, like more than double the amount that I already milled to get enough. Very, very big problem. This is probably the biggest problem I've had on the build, I would say, because with other things like the windows, I was like, well, I know I can get them secondhand and that automatically cuts so much off the price and I just need to restore them. You know, I can put the hard work in. But this one is definitely a little trickier. Unless somebody like delivers me the logs free of charge or gives me decking free of charge, which I doubt is going to happen, I'm going to be in quite the situation. So, can definitely do the rooftop deck at this stage. Wraparound deck isn't unsure if anyone has any ideas. But to end on a high note, I want to grab a decking board and before the sun goes down, I want to go varnish it so that I can see what it looks like and get excited about the rooftop deck at least and what that's going to be like when it's all done. Not bad, not bad. And they came from trees. Trees like this that were right here.
Sunlight dances on the balcony as I wait for thee to come home. I fumble my words and my silence when you're in that.
Are we ready for this? I'm so excited.
Will you stay with me and never leave? You walked into my life and I am glad you came.
Ooh.
Glad you came. When you're not around, I've been broken. Glad you came. Glad you came. I was lost till I fell in your eyes. Had me wondering what it feel like home. I hold you close so you're by my side till the end of time before you go. Will you stay with me, never leave? You walked into my life and I am glad you came.